Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dan.
And I'm Jen.
In today's lesson, we're going to be reviewing some advanced English idioms. So idioms are expressions that we use as English speakers that have another meaning aside from their literal translation. So there are a lot of expressions that we use every single day that have a meaning aside from what you might think it is.
Often you'll hear fluent English speakers using idioms on a daily basis.
So make sure that you're all ears for this lesson. That's actually our first idiom, all ears.
All ears means that you are attentively listening to that person. You are focused in, honed in to what that person is saying. You are all ears. Hey, Dan, are you listening?
I'm all ears.
The next idiom you might hear in a business setting, back to square one.
So back to square one means that you're going back to the beginning of a process or the beginning of something that you're supposed to do. Perhaps you made a mistake or there was a series of mistakes. You would have to go back to square one and start over.
I messed up on this data sheet.
Looks like we'll have to go back to square one. The next one is also used in business a lot. It's often applied to politics or any sort of competitive environment, and that is a glass ceiling.
So if you broke the glass ceiling, then you were successful in getting to the very top level in your industry.
In your industry or in your business, I think the glass ceiling, so glass is see-through, so a glass ceiling is not something that you can necessarily see, but it's there limiting certain people from achieving certain things, so yeah.
So it's a big deal when you break through that glass ceiling. The next idiom is a really common one as well. Again, all of these idioms are extremely common, and this one is take it with a grain of salt.
To take something with a grain of salt means perhaps to not overemphasize or focus too much on the point someone's making. So this is something that we might say to perhaps measure or to set a lower expectation for something we're saying. So if I make a recommendation, I could say, but take it with a grain of salt.
So I wouldn't take it that seriously.
The next idiom is to run out of steam.
So you might hear a coworker say this. I know I've said this to a coworker before. When you run out of steam, you're exhausted and
you've lost your momentum
Exactly.
or your energy. You've run out of steam.
For example, after a 12-hour shift, I have completely run out of steam. I have no energy left. I'm exhausted. The next idiom is put yourself together. It basically means to collect yourself. So for example, at the beginning of an interview, if your friend is kind of stressed out and they're really anxious about it, you can say, get yourself together. You can do this. Meaning,
Focus.
you got this.
Get your composure.
Yes.
Go do it.
Yeah.
The next idiom is the best of both worlds.
If something's the best of both worlds, then something has the best qualities of two things. For example,
A sports car that's also very luxurious, goes fast, but it's comfortable, so it's the best of both worlds.
so the next idiom is cutting corners.
If you cut corners, you're taking a lazy shortcut. You're not going according to plan. You're doing less steps than what might be needed. So an example might be, we had a lot of steps to complete the project, but we only had 2 hours to do it, so we cut some corners and finished on time.
So the next idiom is on the same page.
This means that two people are thinking alike. If one person is saying something, the other person understands or agrees, those two people are on the same page. So going into this video, Jen and I both had ideas for some idioms that we wanted to say and what we wanted to convey, but at the end of the day, we're on the same page. If you're enjoying these idioms and perhaps you have a good reason to want to become advanced in your English speaking, go to our website, EnglishPerfectus.com, and see our one-on-one private English lessons to see how we can help.
The next idiom is burning the midnight oil.
This means to put in extra hours at work, to put in overtime to get the job done. So if two people are working on a project and they need to stay late, they would be burning the midnight oil. The next common idiom is a piece of cake.
That means that something is extremely easy or simple to do.
I got the project done yesterday. It was a piece of cake. The next common idiom is to see eye to eye. This is kind of like being on the same page.
Exactly.
To see eye to eye, you agree.
Usually, to be on the same page, you'd use that more in a business setting, and to see eye to eye, that's a little less formal.
The next one is kind of a fun one. It is to spill the beans.
Spill the beans means you revealed something, you revealed a secret. To spill the beans could also be kind of talking about gossip. So you spilled the beans by talking to your friend about something you're supposed to keep secret.
The next one is to get the ball rolling.
To get the ball rolling is really common again in a business setting. So to get the ball rolling means that you're starting things off. For example, by starting the meeting, you're getting the ball rolling.
Getting things started. If you think about rolling a ball, that's the first step to get it rolling, and then it kind of rolls on its own. So it's to get started on a project, to get the first step done. The next one is cut to the chase.
To cut to the chase means you're getting straight to the point. For example, if I was telling Dan a long, drawn-out story, he could say,
Cut to the chase.
it's a little bit abrupt and rude, but you might hear it.
The next common advanced English idiom is to get bent out of shape.
That means that you're kind of in a bad mood or you're upset about something, you're bent out of shape.
Yeah, you're losing your composure. The next one is to rock the boat.
To rock the boat means that you're stirring things up.
You're not afraid to say something or to do something that might catch someone's attention or be seen out of place. To rock the boat. If you're thinking about when you're in a boat, to rock it, you're on the edge of letting water in and going underneath the water. So it's to not be afraid to say or do something that might cause attention. The next one is a knee-jerk reaction.
A knee-jerk reaction is a reaction that happens right away. It's an instant reaction to something.
It's a reaction that you do without thinking about your reaction. It's something that you do instantaneously without thinking.
For example, if you're driving a car, you see an animal dart out in front of you, you can say, I slammed on the brakes as a knee-jerk reaction.
The next advanced idiom is to wrap your head around something.
To wrap your head around something means to truly understand something, to grasp a concept or to understand something that's in front of you.
They had some bold ideas and we were trying to wrap our heads around them.
So the next idiom that you probably would hear in a business environment is the bottom line.
The bottom line is the most important thing. So if you're talking about business, usually the bottom line is money or results. The bottom line is the thing that matters above everything else. We had a great quarter, but the bottom line is we didn't hit our numbers.
So a lot of these idioms are business related. We want to know from you whether or not you want us to provide you with more business related English learning materials. Put it in the comments below.
The next common advanced English idiom is to ramp up.
To ramp up means to increase what you're doing, to intensify what you're doing, to do it more. For example, I had to ramp up my efforts in order to meet my quota.
The next one is to pull someone's leg.
This one's a little less formal.
A little more playful.
To pull someone's leg means that you're kind of joking around with them. You're not being serious.
An example would be, he thought we were serious, but we were just pulling his leg.
As an example, too, you could respond to someone by saying, oh, you're pulling my leg.
The next one is all in the same boat.
That means that everyone is in the same situation. We're all in the same boat.
We're all in this together. We're all facing the same thing. The next one is hold your horses.
This one means, whoa, hold up.
Not so fast.
Basically, yes. To stop and kind of think about it, or just to stop what you're doing. Whoa, hold your horses.
Pause what you're doing.
Yeah. I think I want to really buy that expensive necklace that I saw online.
Whoa, hold your horses.
The next one's a fun one. Time flies when you're having fun.
This is something we'll often say if we're having a good time, and sometimes when you're having fun, time goes by a little quicker. So this is a common expression somebody says when you're having a good time and time seems to go by quicker. The next common idiom is to add insult to injury.
That means they're not having a great day and you're adding on to that as well in a negative way.
As if the first thing wasn't bad enough, here's another thing that's just as bad or even worse, to add insult to injury.
The next idiom is to fork over something.
To fork over means to give something. So if I ask you to fork something over, I'm asking you to give me something, to hand something to me, to fork it over.
You can simply say, hey, fork it over. For example, someone might not want to give something to someone. So if I have something that I don't really want to give to Dan.
And I would say, fork it over.
Okay. The next idiom is my hands are tied.
It means someone is prevented from doing something. So you could ask someone to do something and they could say, sorry, my hands are tied. They're saying, sorry, I can't do it. Even though they might want to, they can't do it. The next common advanced English idiom is up in the air.
Up in the air means that something that's undecided.
So if I was to ask Jen, do you have your plans for the weekend yet?
It's up in the air. The next idiom and our final one is up to speed.
Up to speed means that you're talking with somebody and bringing them up to the current moment in perhaps a set of things that happened. So if I was bringing Jen up to speed, I'm telling her about the things that happened up to this point.
For example, if I missed a class, then Dan could give me his notes on that class that I missed, bringing me up to speed. For all of you who have commented on our videos and liked and subscribed, we really appreciate it. And we do read every single one of your comments.
Until next time, keep learning.
And we'll talk soon.